talked to various people that would try and help us. And I talked to my friend George Terry from Wellington chapter of the Canadian Liver Foundation. And he agreed for us to walk under the Canadian Liver Foundation. And we were to begin our walk on August the 23rd. Now, during this time, we found out that it was too short of a time to really get a lot of sponsorship corporate-wise. So we just concentrated mostly on friends and people that knew us, and for them to spread it on to their friends. So we had a fund sheet that we made out, and through the help with George Terry in the Canadian Liver Foundation, we opened up a bank fund which people could donate their money to. And August 23rd, we were ready to begin that morning, our walk. Now, what we were hoping for that morning was that we would get a lot of press, and because we did talk to a few people about getting out a press release and get as much exposure as we could towards this walk. But what happened was it was 9 o'clock that morning, and we were on the Pickering line, Highway 2, just right at the border of Toronto and Pickering, and nobody showed up. Well, our friends gave us a ride. So we had our 2 knapsacks, and which weighed about 60, 70 pounds each. And we were ready to make our first step towards that long journey to Ottawa. Our first impression when we got ready to make our first step was I was looking to see if I can see Ottawa from where I was standing, and I couldn't see it. And then I started thinking, Ottawa's a long way. And I had to kill that frame of mind, because I don't think we'd be able to accomplish it thinking, when are we going to reach Ottawa? When are we going to reach Ottawa? So the frame of mind that we both got into was, well, you know what? We're going to do it step by step. And we started walking. Now, we would put in a good 10 to 12 hours of walking each day. And we found out after the second day that we were carrying way too much load. So what we decided to do was to take half that load and ship it back, because it just became too unbearable. We were trying to reach Ottawa in 12 days because I had to begin my school in September, and the timing had to be 12 days. So we shipped half the stuff back, and we kept walking each day, and we were seeing some people, talking to them, and letting them know what we were doing. And at nighttime, we would try and reach the end of the night with a hotel at the end of our destination. We did bring some money with us, our own money, and we found that since we had to ship back a lot of stuff, that we couldn't really carry food with us, so we had to depend on eating at the restaurants and buying some food along the way, and having water there constantly with us. And preparing ourselves in the morning, making sure our feet were powdered, that kind of stuff. And we kept walking. We were doing this for 6 days, and it was on our 6th day. We were on Highway 7, and we were approaching Memora. And I think it was about 6 o'clock that evening or 7 o'clock that evening, and we were starting to talk to each other about, well, actually we didn't really mention any negative feeling about discontinuing the walk, but we were starting to mention about how fruitless this was, and we were starting to question our sanity at this point about why we were doing it, you know, because we weren't getting any recognition to speak, and we felt like we were doing it for no reason, because at that point there wasn't one person that heard what we were doing, as far as either the press or anybody of that nature. We weren't hearing any response from people back in Toronto, like we were making some phone calls. And I mean, we would never admit it to each other. I think we both kept it inside, but I was ready to give up, and so was Sam, you know. And I remember we were on Highway 7, and it was approaching nighttime, and we made it a rule not to walk during the night because it was very dangerous to walk at nighttime. I guess that's when you get a few of the crazy drivers at night, and I found, you know, earlier that I almost got hit 2 or 3 times trying to walk at nighttime. So we were hoping to reach this town, Memora, you know, by the end of this day. And we were walking along the 7, and it was starting to get dark. And we seen this man up ahead, and he seemed to be waving us down. So we acknowledged his wave. We waved back, and he was calling us to come towards him. And so we started walking towards towards this person. And I remember him saying, the first thing was, "Are you guys the walkers?" And I said, "Yes, I am. I'm George Marcello, and this is Sam Vinci." And what he said was, he shook our hands, and he said, "Well, come to my place, because we have a nice warm bed for you, and we have a hot meal, and a lot of messages." And I looked at Sam, and we were trying to wonder who this guy was. And as we were walking along with him towards his place, we found out that he owned this hotel restaurant. It was called the Bella Vista. And it was just before you approached Memora on Highway 7. And we were asking him, "Well, how did you hear about us?" Like, you know, he said, "Well, I mean, doesn't everybody know?" And I said, "As far as we both know, no, nobody knows." So he brought us into his restaurant, and he had it open just for us, because at this time he usually closed it. And I remember meeting his wife, and she had some lasagna, nice hot lasagna for us, and some potatoes and stuff. And we were eating, and I remember feeling really good, you know, like sitting down, and this was the first real, well, we did have some people offering water and, you know, things like that, but this really felt extra warm, you know, hospitality-wise. And so we were eating, and, you know, we were talking about our adventure thus far, right? And we told them that we were just about to give up, right? And then I remember this person's wife, Jimmy's wife, came up or said, "You guys can't quit now." Goes, what are you going to tell all these messages? I go, "What messages?" And she goes, "These messages." And she gave me some phone numbers and stuff and names. And one of